Okay, so today I wanted to go over my starting template as I have talked with some people and it seemed like it's not so widespread to do a template for yourself. So I have two templates, a mastering template and a starting template for track. So I will show you how it works. These templates, they are rolling templates. What do I mean by that? Every time I finish up a track, I update the template. Like sometimes I will add some new thing, new effect or whatever, or a new way of routing drums or ducking or whatever. I will show you like a high level overview and then we will go over each section and how I use it and present maybe a use case, maybe open up an old project just to show you what I mean by that. I will open a project. So let's go with my latest release. This is called Save All. It was released on Digital Structures. I will reference to this one. Overview of the template. Over at the top we have a channel called Heavy Ducking and a channel called Short Ducking. I have here two selections for two instances of laser which received sidechain from the kick, and then it has the unique shape. For every track I build a unique shape. We have here without offset, the offset is 0, and with offset is basically the same but with an offset and a little bit of an attack. The same goes with the short one, just all the numbers are very short. So over here I send some symbols over here to not clash with the kick. So the close hats in this track goes through the short ducking. Whenever I want something to be ducked, I send it to the short ducking. In the same way, we have the heavy ducking. That is to duck more, as to say, like there is a stronger and longer ducking effect. And these two are extremely important in the music that I make. And now we go to the what I call a sub drop, and then we have the kick and the bass. Now for the bass part, I already covered it. I'll put a link for you so you can watch it. What do I mean by a sub drop? So what I did was I did a sweep from where a large woofer would usually start being effective and release energy, and until the point that I think most sub fall off, which is 46 Hertz. This one basically does this. So in multiple systems you will be able to hear that. It will reverberate differently in every room. It's a nice thing to have, to use it in a drop or something, just as a backdrop. So we have a kick and a bass. Regarding the kick, I have a lot of generators that generate kicks. This is my latest is using the grid for doing that. I have the grid doing the body, like the main kick. This is an empty chain. It says kick side chain. So whenever I go, I have a large list of, whatever. So you go to the kick generator. Right, I got this side chain out. And then you know where to side chain, because after that, the kick get processed. When you want to side chain or duck or whatever, you want to use the most raw form of the kick. After that, I have a reverb section, which I built. It actually has two things in it, clean and the reverb, which I control, the amount. Then we have a span to measure how it looks on an analyzer. Then we have a kick filter, which is also nice. I will do a quick demonstration of that. So you have LPHP filter, simple filter, and then we have a clipper. Then we have the bass channel, which is empty. For every track I will do a specific bass and a specific kick, and on the bass channel, on top of it, there's always the laser to duck it with the kick if we need to. And as the other ones, we have no offset and with offset. In the Save All, we have the bass. It gets ducked. This is a slightly earlier version of the ducking that I used while I made Save All. This is why I said I keep updating. So over here we have laser, but we also have duck by Devious Machines. I like this one because it allows for a look ahead. So here we have a 5 millisecond look ahead, which is the same as the offset. So we even have the offset already on. It's really necessary in this track because the kick is, otherwise it will eat up the bass. And then we move to the rhythm. The rhythm section is something that I really like building. I like putting a lot of drum machines and make them play and switch parts and whatnot. TAL came out with this monster, so I can load up whatever I want. It answers my needs. Now, what we have here? We have one engine. Okay, I call it a drum engine. We take 8 channels. Every row you see here is a channel. It gets sent to a channel, to a specific channel. So we have output 1. These all go to 1. These go to 2. These go to 3. Whatever. As you might know, usually all the notes for these are usually C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F, F sharp. So in order to send notes to them, you need to feed them the notes they expect. So I opened up 8 different channels with MIDI on them. The snares has a MIDI and the group channel receives the audio. So I can have my MIDI and audio in the same place. The drum engine receives all the MIDI notes, has a container containing MIDI inputs. The MIDI inputs have a note receive and then a note transpose, because I transpose everything to correspond to the matching notes in TL drum. And on the MIDI channel, there is a drum machine which is offline. It activates MIDI naming, which is pretty cool. And if at any point this doesn't make sense to you or you need further explanation, please let me know, because I know this intimately, so I might gloss over things really fast or something. Okay, we have snare 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2 rims. So this corresponds to 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an error here. There should be rims here, but I will fix that because the template is a rolling template. So we have all the snares here and they are sending MIDI notes. Over here for save all, there is not really much to talk about in terms of snares. There's only one sample, which is nice, but doesn't really help drive the point home. So let's open maybe a different project. So let's hear how that works. So we have here notes with probability that happens only on the 4th bar with a probability of 25. We have ghost note here, and we have the 2 notes over here. Now you will notice the 1 note is slightly ahead of time, and that is on purpose, so I can get more of a phlegm to the sound, alright? Because with the kick, it will sound really good. Creates like a small... In almost all channels you have on the MIDI channel a drum machine which is turned off just to give names to the notes, and then you can open it up and you have the notes, which is cool. You know that you're in the correct notes. All the notes are the same. I think it's C1 until D sharp. Then you get the notes, and of course we have a lot of stuff pre-made. So we have on the high perks, there's nothing. On the snares, I like to have 2 channels. One is a little bit ahead and the other one is more ahead. And during production, I will maybe change it a little bit, delay or advance. And we have the probabilistic notes, which create interesting rhythms. Over on the open hats, we all know that the open hats happen, regularly. So I built a regular pattern for that as well. Some tracks I will change it a little bit, give it maybe another a ghost note or whatever, but the base of it remains. Closed hats I always build up, with the track, and I have the shakers, which is built around 4 shakers going 1, 2, 3, 4, and these notes get sent to a plugin that I like, which is Skaka from Clevcard. I don't know how to read it. But anyways, Kaka, it's really cool. You can build your shaker template from a lot of different shakers. It is sample based, but I really like the sequencer, and there's a lot of options here. So I like to play with this one, and every note activates like one of these, so I can just turn them on or off from here. If I want like the first one, and if I want the second one, and if I want the third one, and you get the point. Let me just show it to you so you understand. We are on the third one now. So we have the third one operating. We have the rides. Again, simple ride rhythm, on beat rides, 3 offbeat samples that I can insert. Of course, I will change if I need to. And then extra channel, which if I have a special percussion that I want to enter, which doesn't fit into everything else, I will do it here. Now on every group channel, there might be some processing done. So over here, I have some effects that are ready to be used, that I see that I use them a lot. EQ, transient shaper, clipper, whatever. And I have it at the ready, so I don't need to search it. I can just activate it, and it will have probably the latest parameters that I used for the last track, which usually is not that far off. Okay, so over here we have the main folder. Now usually I will open up stuff outside everything and then pull it over to the folder. Over here we have all the analog stuff that we have. So I have the Pulse 2 turned off right now, Volca bass, and the Volca keys. I don't really use them much, but they are a nice addition, you know. Sometimes you do want something like that in your track. I have Scalar 2 for mainly for inspiration, or like if I wanna explore various switches between scales or whatnot. I input the notes that I've written, and then it can suggest you chords. It's really nice. I don't even know which chords are these. You just delete, you record whatever MIDI input, and then you can go to the chord selection. It gives you alternatives, it gives you a lot of harmonic ideas. It's very easy to work with, and it makes my life a bit easier, but usually it's turned off because I only need it when I try to improve upon a harmonic progression that I did. I have here a place for vocals. It doesn't contain anything, it's just a place that they will go. Same goes to guitars. Here we will have all the contact libraries or a sign player. Again, we have a note receiver that receives notes from the different group channels. Like I have a MIDI, goes to the group receives the audio source. Almost last is my background and effects folder. Now the background contains nothing, because usually it will be like synth effects that are specific to the track and stuff like that. And the effects are stuff that I usually do, or channels that I usually use, or I found that I need to build them every time, so I just have them ready. So we have, of course, the riser sound with a macro to do the rising, and we have 2 types, phase plan, noise riser. At some point I got sick of building again and again the same sound, the same riser. Over here there's a channel that I call a Tom Splash. The first time I did it, I just took a small sample of toms. Let me show you. You chop it a little bit. We will take a short time from that. It goes through saturation, filtering, and it's nice. You know, a channel that I found myself going for again and again. Over here I have the channel for the crashes, which does have low cut filter. It's pretty low, so it shouldn't even touch the crashes. It's just in case that the crash sound does have some rumble. The same goes for the big crash. The big crash has Valhalla Supermassive on it to make the sound really, really big. So let's put a crash on that. And there you have it. You have a very, very big crash. Over here there is an auto pan. And over here we have 3 types of noise sounds. One is the short one, which is a very simple noise with a little bit of decay, sustain, stuff like that. Over here we have a long type, which is like a noise that's playing with some LFOs. And I can control it. So you can flip over, you can do whatever you want. And then there is a short rise. It's similar to the short, but it's shorter and drier. And the reverbs have a room, hall, and a plate. I don't always use 3 of them, but at least one of them. Like the room I will usually use for rhythm. Very good reverb that I like from Relab, and I used to use the Valhalla Vintage Verb for that, which does exist still. And then we have, as a whole reverb, we have the Sonsig over here, which is also really awesome, especially for halls. And for plates, I now use Tai Chi, which is very, very cool. I also use it for a bunch of other mixing tests, but I found that it does produce a good sounding like plate. Like I call plate the spacey kind of reverb that goes on for like almost forever, which is, for me, it's longer than the whole reverb. And then these all go through a reverb bus, and on the reverb bus we have a low cut for the sides which uses a basal filter, and a basal filter is changing the phase in the most minimal way possible, if I remember correctly. Then after that we have the ducking for the reverb, because we need to duck the reverb also to give space in the mix. It makes it easier. And I have all the templates for my mastering, so like the EQ, compressor, saturator, clipper, prequel limiter, multiband limiter, final clipper, dither, delta receiver, which is, I will show you, it's making a delta sound for plugins that doesn't have a delta function, so I can gauge what they are doing. Span, of course. I use a DPTR metric AB for referencing tracks, and Streamliner for referencing how it will sound in whatever streaming services. I don't really use this one that much, but I have it here just in case. We have a tool to, maybe we want to check mono or something, mono compatibility, tonal balance control, and I have a BitConnect relay, which is BitConnect is like collaboration software, which is really cool. It's like a plugin in the DAW. You can send small bits and pieces between people on a shared project, and of course, in the end, my favorite, oscilloscope. This is my template. There hasn't been a lot of sounds coming out from the DAW, I know. It's only been me speaking, but I wanted to share. I would love to hear what is your template, if you have one, or if you find this one useful. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you watched until the end, that's very brave of you. And I'll catch you up next time. So thank you. Like and subscribe below. I would love it if you would go to my Instagram account, have a like there, listen to some of the music and SoundCloud, and basically socials below. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.